So, welcome to another episode of In Between Homes. Today, I have the pleasure to be interviewed by Natalia. Hi, Natalia. The mic is yours.
Hi, Lucy. Thank you for having me here. I have a list of questions for like a full list of questions for you. Um, but I think what I would like to start is with the first question about how did you find out that what you're doing is what you want to do? I mean, I know the story and I know the context, like that you've been living in Australia and you've been burned out and not, finding that satisfaction in this 9 to 5 type of job. So how did you where did you find this idea or inspiration to do what you're doing right now? Was it like a moment? Was it a process? I assume it was a process, but
Yeah.
did you have this at one moment when you decided that you want to do what you want to do? And if you can tell a little bit more about it, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you for this question. Um, I think it's been a process from kind of the moment where I was doing, I would say, traditional consulting before I was in Australia, so before COVID, where I was really serving businesses to do their tax report and just preparing their financial report. So I was helping them and supporting business owner in a way that what they needed. So it was very interesting for me and really already rewarding to be able to offer my gift to people. But at the same time, I still feel inside that something was not fully complete because I always remind myself at the time that I wish those people can really understand numbers. And by doing the job for them, I was not empowering them. Long story short, I moved to Australia with the pandemic. I lost 90% of my business and I went back to corporate. Went back to corporate at first was like a dream job in a way, a dream job that you find during COVID, like allow you to international exposure. Once the border are reopened, I will be traveling for work. Like it was kind of a dream job on the paper. But as I was an entrepreneur before, I was putting so much energy and passionate into my daily job and I didn't feel rewarded. I didn't feel that the way that I was impacting the company, I was having an impact in my client and my team, but the management didn't see the value. And I was having always this feeling that maybe a lot of people may have in corporation where I don't feel valued for what I do. And then through a burnout, I was like, I need a change. I need to be an entrepreneur again. I need to relaunch a business. But why? What I am going to do? And I kind of sit a long time with this question because I had an expertise when I was living in Bali, Indonesia. But in Australia, this expertise was less uh, valuable because a lot of people were doing financial services and consulting for company. So I was in a country where my expertise was not so different. And I was like, okay, that sucks. I'm no one there. I don't have networks and I don't know how to do. And this idea to really being empowering the people by the knowledge, the understanding of their finances really pushed me to there is another way to bring my gift to those people. And it's where I started to touch a little bit into the coaching world, into the teaching world, where we give our knowledge to people and people can do something with that. So it's been a process of from a place of frustration, I would say, to anyone that listen today. Um, like sometimes we have frustration in life, and I would always recommend you to have a look to that frustration to see where what is telling you, and then to allow space and time for you to kind of reflect and maybe start helping someone that you know. My first client as a coaching as date your finances was actually a friend. I didn't do that for the money. I didn't sell my services to her. She needed help with her finances. She wanted to have a kid, and she needed to have to save money to have a kid. So I helped her to manage her finances. So I went through a process of coaching her, of giving her my framework, to giving her the tools so she can be empowered and understand the power of numbers. So then she rewarded me by trading. We did a trade. She she teach me how to swim better. So it was just so nice, and it's a lot of things that maybe you can try, is how I can help one person with what you know today. And you may realize maybe it's a bit outside of what you used to be forever for companies, but it's what you feel like I do that with so much ease, because we have a tendency to look for something that it's very far away from us, but actually our gift, our expertise is something that we do with so much ease that we don't actually put a lot of value on it. If you ask me to do a spreadsheet, I need 2 minutes. I will make you a spreadsheet for whatever budget or something. And for me, I never value that for a long time. All the time I was in Bali. But then during COVID, something shifted. And I realized I do have a ease with that to be able to show to other people how to do that. So it's where, finding your purpose, finding where your gift and what makes you happy, you can find it in really observing yourself. What are the things that you do with so much ease and flow? So I hope it answering your question.
Yeah, of course. But on that topic, so when you came up with this idea for coaching or helping other people, was that through because you met someone who did similar things, or you came across some similar idea somewhere? Like, where did you find that? Or was it just simply like born in your head at some point?
No, I had support. So what happened is, uh, before COVID, my first business, I had no online presence. I didn't even have a website. So you can definitely operate a business and not having a website. But with COVID, everything shifted and everyone was moved online. So I needed to have an online presence for people to find me, to be able to market my gift, my services. And I didn't have knowledge in that area. So what I did is I enrolled into set not it's not really a certification, but like a course where I was learning how to do digital marketing, how to learn how the world works online, and specifically in the knowledge industry, in teaching, in giving back knowledge to others. So I follow, I think, for more than 6 months, a very intensive program to go through a lot of processes to find my story, why this was meaningful to me, or to kind of connect the dots. It was more than a program to learn digital marketing. It was really diving inside of me and having like all the pieces of a puzzle of my life and starting to put those pieces together. So it's where, after a while, these pictures start to come up together. So I had help. I had a mentor. I I follow course, and I would say what is very important is I had a direction. I needed to find a way to relaunch a business quickly because I couldn't stay any longer in the work as I was. So I gave myself like 6 months. I need to get out of that company. So I need to have already launched a business, potentially a little bit of money coming from that business, to be able to leave my job and focus 100% of my business on my business.
Hey, and okay, interesting. And how throughout that process, how did you keep yourself motivated, or did you keep yourself going? As I assume, like setting things up and not knowing whether that's gonna be, successful or not, and then at the same time being, let's say, not in a greatest place psychologically, like being in a job that you didn't like or enjoyed or felt value in. How did you, through that process, keep yourself motivated? Or maybe how do you keep yourself motivated right now as well? With, launching new ideas and without knowing how do you, whether they're gonna be, I don't know, converting into something more substantial and so on and so on.
Yeah, it's a journey. What I would say is I didn't need to be motivated because the situation I was in was already uncomfortable. So this uncomfort was the pain of that was bigger. So my willingness was I need a, a step after. I need to be somewhere else. I need to be having a business again. I need to have freedom again. I'm tired of asking my boss if I can have a day off. And in my work environment, it was quite toxic. So I had a one colleague that was kind of bullying me, and I had kind of reminder quite often, unfortunately, that I had to leave. I had to make my way out there. But it was COVID, it was Australia. So my stay in that company was linked to my visa and the reality, the economical reason of, living cost in Australia, COVID. So I needed to make sure if I exit, I can have enough savings to survive and a lot of things. So the motivation was really from I cannot stay where I am. And this was enough for me to wake up at 4 a.m. on the morning and study for 2 hours with the US and the time difference, do 2 hours of workout and journaling, and be at 9 a.m. working for my day job. So somehow I was really like a kind of a robot at that moment. I was like so powerful, so performant in a way, because where I was, it was definitely not where I wanted to stay. I was like, I don't know where I could go, but I know where I am right now. It's more painful than whatever I will have next. So this was really helpful. And then along the way, the last 3 or 4 years, has been a lot of up and down, but the main motivation, and it came after, is I really have a vision for my life that is kind of maybe a bigger dream of where I am right now, but I do feel like it's what I would love. So I kind of always, when I have a low moment, I kind of re-go back to my vision and reconnect with that things, even though maybe it's going to happen in a year or 5 years or 10 years. I'm like cultivating this vision of my life. And I think the last element I wanted to share is I did a promise to myself when I left that job 6 months later. It was very important for me that I wouldn't only do business in my life anymore, because I was really strong in business before, and I sacrificed a lot of my personal life for business. And the promise I made to myself is whatever the time is going to take to actually, really have a good, comfortable life, um, I will not sacrifice my personal life, my romantic relationship, my family quality time, and even my health anymore for business. So by having this kind of promise to myself, I was like, I need to make sure I'm not just focusing on business. And of course, it took longer for my business to pick up because I had to be very careful on how I manage my time and how I take care of myself and how I spend time with my family, and opening again to love relationship. So this is the vision that I have for my life. So I was cultivating and already doing that vision 3 years ago. And now I can tell you, yeah, I've been through a high and lows in terms of finances, especially at the beginning. The first year was quite difficult,
Mhm.
but now I'm fine. And money come in and out that we don't know. Maybe it's fine for 3 years, and 3 years from now it's going to be a crash. I don't know. But what is sure is I'm keeping dating my finances. I really keep monitoring. I know how much coming in, I know how much going out. And of course, as everyone, more we receive money, more we spend money. But I monitor this, I control this. So if I need to downgrade myself next month because I have different clients or I have lower income, I will do it. But I have certainty and confidence because I have this financial management. So it's really for me what helped me to keep motivated, I would say. It's just knowing where I am right now and keeping up with the vision that I would love for my life.
So on that topic of going through the journey, that's gonna be typically a very typically recurring question. But what do you think like was your biggest mistakes that you at the same time probably learned a lot from? Is there anything that comes to your mind, like something that was like significant or an interesting story around that?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's the first time I have this one. And one one thing came to me is, so I was taking courses online, and during pandemic, a lot of us may have shifted and took a lot of courses online. And I was in those groups, and they always tell you the next step and the next step. And I think I've been in different groups, and I had amazing, coach and mentors. I'm not changing the value of what they bring to me, but at some stage, I realized that if I keep myself in their group, I feel like I'm dependent of them. And I stay a little bit longer in one group, maybe 6 months longer than what I should have really done if I was really listening to my inner feeling that this needs to stop right now. But they kept me in the loop because of fear. Like, in a way, they were telling the group that, oh, if you don't stay again with us, you may not doing it. You may not be succeeding in your business. You may not be able to do it. You may lose the accountability and all of that. And I kind of, listen to that. A part of it may be true, but the other part, I realized 6 months later, I decided, no, now I need to cut. I need time to integrate all the lesson I learned, all the teaching I received from those people, the amazing things, like really, but I needed time to kind of integrate all of that in my soul, in my body, in my brain, because when you just receive information, you overflow. So yes, you are moving forward in the needle in your business maybe, but you are not yet breathing in out, like you are not yet having this integrated inside of you, and then you put this back into the out world. So I would always recommend to people, it's good to keep learning. I'm a big learning. I have coaches, and I still have today different coaches and different things that I learn, whatever it's more in personal development or business or life in general or love relationship. But at some stage, you need to ask yourself, are you still in those groups or with this coach because you are scared of being on your own? Or are you really getting added value from that? And I really found the power in pausing. Pause sometime for 3 months, a group or a coaching program, to really integrate, to clarify your vision, to clarify what are the needs that you have, and then go back or pick what are essential to you. What are the needs? What's going to move the needle for you in your business or in your life? because just by being part of groups and groups, you kind of follow a flow that at some stage is not yours anymore.
Mhm. Okay, interesting. And maybe at last, when you talk to people who has or who struggle financially for whatever reasons and whatever that struggle means, like, is there, like, based on your observation, is like the common ground for all of these struggles, or it's different case by case? Um, is it different for different people? Like, what is the common, reason for people not being either aware of their finances or not being friends with their finances and so on and so on?
I I think the first guilt or reason is really where we come from. Maybe our parents, didn't really know how to teach us, or even themselves, they may not know. What is, you know, what I've been noticing a lot is we, especially our parents or grandparents, they have been through, hard time, like the war, like where they needed to survive. So when you are more in a survival mode, the relationship to money is really different. You need money on the table to eat food, to have maybe a house, and you go to work because you need the money to operate the family. I think our generation also shift the time, the life we live right now is way different. We have more desire. We need money to do more things. We travel. We have the need of having more money for more like comfort things, and to create, like, we need money to do whatever project that you need, whatever it's helping and do a social things, or is building a business, or is doing something for yourself, for the family, building a house. You need money. So what I've been noticing a lot is shifting from scarcity mindset toward abundance mindset. And even in Bali, when I speak with the priest here, the Balian priest is telling me, like, he's not worried about money. He needs money for project, like to help the community. So he's aware about that. He cannot himself make a business
Mhm.
to receive money. So it's kind of tricky between donation and and the need of money, and not being able to really market and ask for a price. But what he's always telling me is, like, nature is providing for me, for us. So it's just beautiful when you also step out from the world we really live in, where we do need money. And the reality, when you are more spiritual, and the wisdom, for example, in Bali, where everything is already here in nature. So there is something in the mindset with money as well that is important to have, is when we are able, and it's what I teach, when we are able to face our finances, there is a lot of fears. While people don't look at their finances, they are maybe their teacher, when they were 7 years old, told them, like, oh, you are so stupid, you don't know how to do maths. It's maybe why right now, as an adult, you are not looking at your finances. Um, and there is a lot of, um, they don't know how, and finances is just something we can learn. It's like, you don't know how to make pasta, you can learn how to make pasta. You don't know how to manage your finances, you just learn how to manage your finances. It doesn't have to be complicated. The approach is very simple, but it gives you a tool, it gives you power to every month sit down and have a date with your finances, where you start looking at. And I really love the fact that, um, telling people, like, become a friend with your finances. And what is a friend? A friend is capable to look at you sometime and say, hey, what are you doing right now? Where is the person that I know? Where is my friend? So maybe sometime from your real friend, I'm talking about real friend, like like you, Natalia, you are my real friend. those
Yeah.
those people. the real friend will also sometimes look at you in the eyes and say, hey, what's going on here? Stop your bullshit. Have a look. So, but when you look at that from this perspective, I would say 98% of the time, a friend is just good time, right? It's a partner. It's someone with you can go and play. So it's the same with numbers. Maybe sometimes you will have a cold shower from looking at your numbers and you will be disappointed and you will be, oh, wow, I didn't know. But the power in that is now you can know. And if you know, you can make a change. You cannot change what happened yesterday with your finances. But right now, today, you can make a better decision for today and the future. It's where it's a power. It's not about, judging yourself from you spend too much money on coffee outside, or you spend too much money when you went to Bali last time, or on clothes. It's not about blaming yourself. It's really about looking at the situation with total honesty and transparency with yourself. And from that, making better decisions for the future, for whatever is meaningful for you, whatever is buying an apartment and making this happening, or is having I don't know, another project and willing to put money aside for that project. Numbers gonna support you to make it happen. And then you will have also clarity about how much do I need for that project. Taking a house as an example is, how much do I need if I want to buy a house? You need to choose, what house would I love to buy? I may not have the finances right now to buy it, but having a look to how much does it cost and having a number is going to help you to make it happen way faster than if you just wish, yeah, one day I would love to have a house. No, tell me the price. Is it 200,000? Is it $1 million? Is it $10 million? I'm not here to judge whatever the size of your house. But if you don't get this number, for sure, you will never go there, or it will take way longer. But once you have a number, you can see where you are today, and you have an objective of finding a way to generate this money. And then you say, okay, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can ask for a pay raise in my job, or maybe I can have a side job that's gonna finance something, whatever. After I would say it's almost easy to find how. But the start is really with numbers. And for me, if everyone tomorrow could see numbers as a friend, a real friend, I think the world would be better.
Perfect. Thank you so much. These were all my
Thank you.
questions.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you for being here, and have an
Awesome.
amazing day, and we'll see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care. Yeah. We talk to you soon.
Thanks.